Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and join our Facebook community for epic weekly giveaways.
What's up, Airsofters? It's time for another exciting top 10, and this time it's a top 10 you've all been asking for. Video after video, comment after comment, we're finally tackling our favorite spring-powered pistols, currently available at evic.com. Without further ado, let's get into my top 10 favorites. Coming in at number 10 is a cinema classic. How many action movies have you seen without an Uzi? Not very many. That's a lie. Probably a lot. I would say the MP5 is probably more ubiquitous. But the Uzi is one of the coolest submachine guns of all time, and the fact that you can get a spring-powered one is super cool. Coming in at $29.99 right now on our website, this baby is spring-powered and boasts the longest magazine and highest capacity of the group of 10. Now, because it's spring-powered, you will need to charge the bolt every time you intend to fire, and the select fire switch, while giving you auto and semi-automatic settings, really only has semi-automatic as well as being a functional safety. But for all of these, I think it'd be fun to throw some 2.0s in them, chrono them, and see if we can hit a target. Keep in mind, all of these do come with .12s because they're spring pistols, but we all know we're putting .2s in them anyway. So let's give it a chrono test. 174 on the chrono. Hits the A-zone just fine. Probably should have loaded more than 3 BBs in. Distance shot. You know, for a spring-powered airsoft pistol, it actually has a pretty flat trajectory with .20s. You can't go wrong for 30 bucks. Coming in at number 9 is another cinema classic, the SIG P226. This one is also licensed and comes with that classic SIG 226 shape. Is that okay? Also spring-powered, which is also obvious because this is a spring-powered video. Magazine ejects like you would expect. Interestingly about these magazines is that they feature a reservoir in the back to hold the BBs, and then they require you to fill the reservoir and then kind of shake the BBs up into the track while holding down the magazine follower. I'll be honest, it's a bit of a pain. All that work and I still only have 4 BBs in the mag. If you're anything like me, your first instinct will just be to load them with a speed loader from the top. And that'll probably work. And then just use the reservoir for extra BBs. All right, let's get on with the chrono. Nice draw. It feels like it's got a stiff spring. On the chrono, we've got 214, which isn't bad for a spring-powered pistol. More importantly, though, we'll hit a target. Nice, right in the A-zone. How about that plate? Dead center on the plate. Distance shot. This one actually hops upward a little bit thanks to the added FPS above 200. You can actually probably use this in-game pretty effectively. These retail for about 25 bucks usually, but you can sometimes find them on discount. In fact, at the time of this filming, it's on sale for $19.99. Coming in at number 8 is not on this table because it's so popular, it's constantly out of stock, and it's the only revolver on my top 10 list. It's the UHC 686 4-inch spring-powered heavyweight revolver. Not only are revolvers super cool, but it won't break the bank to use. It's not over 500 FPS like most gas-powered revolvers, and the 4-inch version is nice and stubby and easy to conceal, which I like a lot. You should definitely check one out. If they're in stock, I definitely suggest snapping one up. And just in case you're missing the visual, it's good. Also good. And it did hit the plate. Moving on to number 7. Coming in at number 7 on my top 10 list is this beauty right here. This is the Umarex Beretta licensed PX4 Storm. Looks really cool, it has a nice weight to it, and it comes with an extra magazine. Now this one, like the SIG, comes with that magazine style that you kind of fill from the back and kind of wedge it forward. Now, because these are clear, it makes that task a lot easier, so it was a lot less finicky. I'd still probably load them from the top, but now you know how it works. One other really unique function about the PX4, unlike any of the others, is that it'll tell you when it has an empty magazine. When you go to rack it back for your next shot, it locks back. Drop the mag, insert a freshie, drop the slide. Now then, the test you've been waiting for. See the chrono. 184 on the chrono. Target. A little outside the A zone, but that's also probably because I wasn't aiming. Let's try the steel plate. Perfectly hit on the steel plate. Distance shot. Little high, which means you'll get plenty of range out of these on the field. These are really cool. The texturization feels nice, and they don't feel super creaky and plasticky, which for a gun that retails for about $23 is a really nice buy. Number 6 on our list is this beauty right here. It's a 1911. My list would not be complete without at least one type of 1911 on here. Now this is the Game Face Stinger P311. Polymer construction, retails for $22.33 right now on our website. We're coming up on the halfway point here in my top 10s, and before we talk about number 5, have you guessed what my number 1 favorite is yet? If you haven't yet, comment in the section down below. Number 5 on my list of top 10 is the ASG CZ75D compact high-grade spring-powered airsoft pistol. Comes in a really cool tan finish. It's also spring-powered, what do you know? I particularly like this one because of the group. This one has a heavier weight to it and a metallic feel to it, which feels a little bit more realistic. If you look at the top of the CZ75D, you actually see it has a hop-up adjustment, a sliding lever that allows you to go from low to high and everywhere in between. But does all that increased weight and realism make it a better performer? Let's find out. 233 on the FPS. How does it do on targets? Ooh, right in the A zone. And how about on that plate? Nice and firm on the plate. Distance shot. Now this stays nice and flat with 2 O's at 233. So you've got the FPS and the hop to be able to get these to go the distance on the field. So this will work just as well for plinking and target practice as it will as a backup on the field that doesn't require gas or batteries. It's a great pistol to have. Number 4 on my list of top 10 favorite spring-powered pistols is the Big Daddy itself, the Desert Falcon. I mean the Desert Eagle. Not only is it super imposing, but it's lighter weight than its full metal gas-powered counterparts and still has semi-auto functionality to allow you to Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson. All of your opponents on the airsoft field. Now then, chrono test. 136, not the highest, but it's reasonably consistent, and with how imposing it looks, you may not even need to fire a shot because your opponents will be running in fear. Let's see how it does on target. Works on the A zone. Works on the target. Distance shot. Okay, this one does not have the ability to keep 2 O's aloft for very long. So I would use the included .12s, as .12 BBs are affordable enough to pick up in the thousands for not very much money, and stick to .12s on this if you're looking for more range. If you want to stick to .2s, just make sure that your engagement distances are just a little bit closer. This Desert Eagle Magnum 44 comes in at about $25, usually in retail. Time of this filming, it's actually on sale on our website for 18 bucks. Number 3 on my list of top 10 airsoft spring-powered pistols is the shiniest as well as the most expensive spring-powered pistol on the list, the Tokyo Marui M92F spring-powered pistol in silver. Now, before you start saying that I've already mentioned a revolver and there's a fantastic Tokyo Marui revolver that's spring-powered that should have been on this list, this one comes in at $45. The TM revolver comes in at over $100 for a spring-powered pistol, which is why it's not on this list. Now then, let's get to testing this bad boy. At 105, it's not the highest FPS, but this is a great item for plinking. The details are exquisite, so if you're looking for something to collect, you don't really intend to use all that often on the field and you're not concerned about gas, this is a great collectible, and it's got that sweetness that comes with the Tokyo Marui name. But how does it do on target? I mean, still hits a target. How are we doing on plates? Still hits a plate. Let's go for distance. Could be farther, but it's also only 100 FPS. It's times like when I shout going the distance and then shoot that I really wish we were able to play cakes going the distance over my, but I can't because licensing sucks. Thanks, YouTube. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the ASP 3/4 scale R338. Now I like this for a couple reasons. One, costs $5. You can't beat a $5 spring-powered pistol because if they break, if you get tired of them, it's the cost of a Starbucks beverage. And 2, it's 3/4 scale. How cool is it that this fits just about anywhere, still looks like a high kappa, and I might add, for $5, still throws around heavier than the $45 TM at 110 FPS. But how's it do on targets? Just fine. Plate, distance. Not great on distance, but you could lob it, or when you run out of BBs, it's only $5. You could. And before we get into my number 1 choice, I've got an honorable mention. I love all of these for different reasons, and there's a huge availability in terms of various models for spring-powered pistols. But one that stood out to me as being unique was this. The officially licensed Colt Mark IV spring-powered airsoft pistol with laser and sight. And it comes in a pistol targeting package that comes complete with a target to shoot at. It's a one-stop shop for getting somebody into airsoft. If they're not familiar with the game, buy this kit. Not only do they get something that looks super unique, but also the ability to use it, both by themselves for target practice as well as, in games. But I'm sure you're wondering how this stacks up in performance to everything else on my list of top 10. First, the FPS test. Do you want to know? And the chrono results are in 39 FPS. So you're in no danger of injuring anybody, although you should still be using eye protection. But the key feature here is the pressure switch activated laser. Because I know I'll be right on target. I might have to bring the target closer. All right, we're going for plate. We'll go one more for plate. I forgot to activate the laser. And I should be using my sight. Distance. Distance. Oh yeah, it gets down there. All right, guys, last chance. If you haven't figured out what my favorite is yet, here's your opportunity. I'll give you 30 seconds while I push all these other inferior pistols out of the way. Have you guessed my #1 favorite? Without further ado, my number one favorite is a two-pack. A two-pack of pistols that pack a serious punch and surprise your enemies on the field. These babies come black and silver in the same box. So for the cost of one pistol, you get two, both equally concealable and very, very cool. This is the Double Eagle Dual Pocket Pistol Set. Comes in at a cool $9. That's $4.50 per pistol. And because they each come with their own independent magazine, if you decided to use just one, you've got an extra magazine, like some of the other pistols on this list. But let's see how they chrono. You know, for $4.50, 99 FPS is not a bad thing. Maybe there's a difference between silver and black. There is. The black one shoots 12 higher at 111 FPS. So if you're going for the kill, go with the black one. If you're going for surprise, go with the silver. Now then. Target. Success. Plate. Success. Distance. I mean, for $9, this is the best buy in spring-powered airsoft pistols currently available. If you'd like to pick up a set of these for $9 or any one of the other awesome spring-powered airsoft pistols we've mentioned in this top 10 video, you can check them out right here at evic.com. And if you have a suggestion for a spring-powered airsoft pistol that's your favorite that maybe I forgot about, put that in the comments section as well to inspire an airsofter to get into one of the most fun ways to enjoy the game of airsoft. Because what is airsoft other than having fun? And there's no more fun to be had than a cheap, disposable, really kind of hilarious spring-powered airsoft pistol. Thanks for watching. Now this baby is the Stinger P311. And there's now all of a sudden a screw on the table.
Beautiful.
Mason, this didn't come from one of the guns, right?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
I didn't just break it.